topic, that is selecting the menu choices. Till now we were just talking with respect to structure, contents and functions of menu. Now when we are selecting any menu, what and all will be different choices. Mean for selecting it, what and all will be different things we should be taking into consideration, that through our user interface design, right? All these things we are learning. What these are all the guidelines which actually we are learning when we are doing any user interface design, right? So the first menu items can be selected by pointing at the choice with the mechanical pointer, or by pointing at the choice through the keyboard, or by keying a value designated the choice, right? So either of these things we can select that particular choice of belongs to that menu. So in this also, when we'll select, see when first time we are, or first time means when we are opening any particular uh, application, the position of the cursor, the initially the cursor should be where, the position of the cursor also we can have, we can decide where it should be. By default maybe it will be in the there will be some default positioning also, but we can also decide where it should be, right? So that then choice selection default, so we'll go through all these unavailable choices, mark toggle or setting toggle menu items, so all will just go one by one. So coming to the first point is initial cursor pointing. uh, if one option has significantly higher probability of selection, position the cursor at that option, right? So whenever we are opening any application, and if we find that in our application, this is the maximum choices, there is a maximum probability of selecting this option only, then let the position that cursor, let the put that cursor on that particular choice only, because there is a higher probability of the selection. So that can be a initial cursor position, right? If repeating the previously selected options has the highest probability of the occurrence, position the cursor at this option, right? Now in this case, if uh, whatever the, we have seen that whatever the from the previously, whatever the more repetition happened for any particular option, there is a highest probability of the occurrence of that particular, repeatedly that particular option, then position initially at that point only. If no option has significantly higher probability of the selection, then the position the cursor at the first option. So it is like, if there is nothing, like we have seen that this is more important, this is more frequently used, this is like that. If any choice is not there, then let your cursor should be on the first option. So you can think from the point of view of application, from the point of view of the occurrence or the selection criteria used by the particular user. You can think in all those direction, and you can put the, or you can position your initial cursor at that particular menu choice. Next, going to the choice selection. Now, when we'll do any selection of any particular choice, we can do it with the pointers. Then we can do it with the keyboard. We can do it the selection or execution with some kinds of set of operations, or we can use some combined technique also. So now going to the pointer, pointer is nothing but we can use our mechanical, sorry, I mean, yes, mechanical device, that is mouse. We can use trackball pointer. We have a light pen, the, or pointing with one's finger in case of touch screen. We can use our finger, and we can, whichever menu we need to, whichever choice we need to select, so we can put our finger on that choice. So finally, this is what through a mechanical devices, right? Mouse. Nowadays we are using digital parts. So I mean, nowadays we are using, but this is the concept from long time. So where you can use those light paints also for selecting any choice. So all these are the mechanical devices which is called as a pointer, and visually indicates which options can be selected when the option is directly under the pointer and can be selected. So whenever we are selecting any option from the menu through such pointers, actually it will be whenever we move the cursor or something, it will change the color, or it will bold it, or it will, some difference will happen when that we are just moving on that, sliding on that particular choice, right? So uh, there will be a visual difference in the menu choices. That, I mean, we should have such things when we are when we are designing that, right? Or we have many other things when it is a vertical, when we'll go one after the other through a mouse selecting some choice, I mean just moving through a choices, that changes, or suddenly it will be little up, like it is little pop-up kind of feel will get, right? So that stands, that particular your pointer is at that particular choice. So all that we can show, that visual impact we can give when we are moving the our cursor, or when we are moving our pointer from one choice to other choice. And visually distinguish the single and multiple choice menu alternatives. So this also you can do. There will be a group of menus, there will be a single menu. So when you're selecting that, there should be a visual differences. I mean, visually you should distinguish what you have been selected, right? So this is with respect to pointer. Second is with respect to keyboard. When it comes to the keyboard, we can use our up down arrow keys, right? We can use our home and end keys. We can use our page up, page down keys, right? So that means these are all the keys which is available mostly for up and down, or left and right. All these are the keys available for moving through the choices of the menus, right? So we through keyboard, so we should, when we are designing thing through keyboard also, somebody, some user is comfortable, we should have that provision also. If key, second point I'm just going, if keying a choice identifier value within an entry field, locate the entry field at the bottom of the last choice in the array of the choices. Uppercase, lowercase, mixed case type entries should be acceptable. Now, this telling that through keyboard also, see, you will be having the where the position of the particular key will be moving, right? So it should be highlighted that you are at the bottom of the choice, which is the last choice of the array of the choices, or the menu choices, all the menu choices. And you can use through a key also, you can give the combination of the keys, number of keys, and uh, you can select that particular choice, right? Many times something with the control plus n, control plus control shift plus n. So we have seen all these choices we can give to select that particular choice, right? That again it will be we also show that it can be used lowercase, or we can go for uppercase, or it can be a mixed case also. So all that should be reflected in your menu choices. Last time we have shown that in the phrasing we have shown, we should give, there is a choice of opening such or selecting such choice through a different way also. So keyboard is one way. Then going to the next is selection and execution. This tells that provide a separate action for selecting and executing the menu option, and indicate the selected choice through either a highlighting it with a distinctive display technique, or modifying the shape of the cursor. Yeah, this is also there. We have a different action, different separate kind of actions also we can use for selecting the execution, right? As I told, you can use a shift control and some key, some alphabet you can use to open that particular, and whenever we are pressing that, the it should be highlighted, the particular menu choice should be highlighted with different color, either shade, light shade, a dark shade, something is should highlighted. Otherwise the cursor of the shape of the cursor, or uh, uh, mostly shape of the cursor should be changed, telling that this particular choice is selected, right? And then permitting the unselecting choice before execution. If there are if a menu is multiple choice, permit all the choices to be selected before execution. So there is a possible that within a choice, within a particular choice, you have a multiple, I mean, not there can be possible you need to select a multiple choices. So as soon as you are selecting one after the other, all should be permitted to select. For example, if I'm saying that I have to select two, three kinds of cities from the given choices, right? So if I'm selecting one after the other by using a control key or by using, so all that should be taken as an input, or all that should be given as an input to the computer. And then you can go for combining technique of all the above also. So this is with the choice selection. The next point is default. So we have finished initial cursor position, choice selection. Now we have to go for the default. Always you can have some default choices. See, uh, if nothing is selected by default, some choice will be uh, given. So that default option also should be highlighted, and that default option should be always visually, it should be displayed like this is by default if nothing is going to be chosen by the user side. So this option will be selected. So that default case also you should have, where visually it should reflect that this is the default option. Then going for the unavailable choices, there are many times some options will not be applicable for that particular function. So that time that particular choice should be gray out. It should be with different color, right? We have seen in many times if you have not selected any particular sentence in your document, then control C, control X, control V will not be highlighted. It will be gray out. And until and unless, I mean, you you will not select any particular sentence, till that the options like control B also, right? Or options control C, that is, I mean, copy. All those will not be highlighted. All those will be gray. All those will be unavailable choices. Here only you can see if I am not selecting anything, you go to the copy. What will happen? What you have copied? Nothing. Even if you say copy, nothing is happening, right? So you come here. Now, sorry, it was not in the document. Huh. Now you see the cut option, copy option, all are with the different color than the format printer, right? So that means what, until and unless you will not select something. So if I'm selecting this, see, cut and copy option has been changed its color, right? It has become a first it was just dim, now it is highlighted, not highlighted, it is with the same color as the other options. So if I'm not selecting this, then it has become a dim. So sometimes with respect to some kinds of application, some menus will not be available, some menu choices will not be available. So in that case, you have to see that that particular menu option should be unable and it should be gray out. That means only graying out all, it's not necessary unless and until it will not be getting in the highlighted. It should not make that action with respect to that choice. So those are there in unavailable choices. And there are many such unavailable choices are there in this PowerPoint application also, which is until and unless that function is not going to be work or not required to be done, it will not highlight that option. So next is mark, toggle and settings. So now toggle and settings, which is telling that what is the purpose, used to designate that an item or a feature is inactive or inactive over the relative long period of time, used to provide a reminder that an option or choice or item or a feature is inactive or active. So this is also possible, like marking toggle and setting. See, whenever this will show that whether that particular choice is active or inactive. So that if you are moving any particular, see, when I'm moving any particular choice, it's showing that. So I'm toggling between the different choices, right? I'm toggling between the different choices, and whichever choice I'm going, that will highlight with different color. If I'm going on uppercase, I'm going to lowercase. If I'm going for this, so whenever I'm toggling between the different choices, it has become a active or inactive, right? So that difference also we should show it. uh, what is the guidelines is talking about? Position the indicator directly to the left of the option, and for situation where over several non-exclusive choices may be selected, consider including one alternative that deselect all the items and revert the setup to the normal condition. Okay, so it's like whenever there are some choices which is not exclusive, you can make deselect those kinds of choices, and you can bring to the normal state or the whole screen. You can bring it to the normal state when we are not selecting anything and we are just toggling. So like this, if I have toggle between so many choices, but I am not selecting anything, I am not clicking on anything, and again I am coming back. So I'm coming back to my document. So it is again in the normal state, the everything in the normal state. If whatever it has been highlighted, uh, changes its color, everything has come to its normal position which was there in the previous state. Toggle the menu items, it is similar almost what we have just said. Used to designate two opposite commands that are accessed frequently. Use when the menu items displayed which will clearly indicate that the opposite condition currently exist. So when we are toggling between the menu items, different choices, you can see that whatever we have selected, it will be highlighted. So toggling means moving from one option to another option, right? It will hide the grid, right? So when I'm just pressing through my keyboard control H, it will hide that particular grid, or uh, that particular command will work, right? But when I'm pressing control H, it should highlight. If I'm pressing after control H, if I'm pressing control S, then the choice should go from this particular option to this particular option, right? So that whether you are doing it through a mouse or whether you are doing through a keyboard, uh, it's toggling between the two choices. Either you are selecting this or this. So if you are selecting one, the other automatically it should say that it should inactive, or we can say it should highlight, it should dim out. right? So all those things should be taken care, only not sliding on this, but whenever we are toggling between the certain number of choices one after the other, one will be the opposite, one will be the like between them there will be a uh, you should highlight it with the different colors. So just go through this with selecting menu choices. So I think